Ladies and gentlemen, rockers out there, welcome to September MPJ Part 2. Oh, we've got the crew in. It's another exciting 7 albums to review. Good morning. Hello, Nathan from sunny New Forest.
Hello, Battle Beasts are awful. They're the worst thing that's ever happened to humans.
Wow. I mean, what a way to start the show. Just go. Good morning, Will. Fresh
Good morning.
Good morning, Simon.
Good morning.
So we were just for the one out there, we were discussing backgrounds. We said, do we blur our backgrounds? And let's be honest about it, Nathan probably has the greatest background everywhere. This we could be preparing to go into a field to watch this festival somewhere local, couldn't we? You know, so unlike my beach share, I was saying yesterday on the other one about how we're off to the rock festival at the beach. So there we go. So anyway, what a lineup we have, guys. Let's just to whet our viewers' appetites here. We're going to kick off with Thunder Mother and Black and Gold, Dynasty and their new album Final Event, Machine Head of Kingdom and Crown, I Prevail and True Power, Kasabian, The Alchemist, Euphoria, Five Finger Death Punch, Afterlife, and headlining the bill, Goo Goo Dolls and Chaos and Bloom. And why? Because they just happen to have the most hits on Spotify, and that's the way we do it. So that's the way it all kind of falls from that side of things as well. So we are missing one of our crew, which is Chris, and he is at a festival, not a rock festival. He's at a blinking computer festival, EGX, for the weekend. But he has sent his ratings in, and he has given me some of his thoughts and insights, which we can share. Not anybody cares what Chris says, but we can actually share. So, without further ado, because we've got an exciting lineup, we're going to kick off with Thunder Mother and Black and Gold. And I look at you and I think, who is the greatest of all the Thunder Mothers? Who would I describe as Thunder Mother? Yeah. So we're going to kick off with Will then, because let's be honest, the Power Metal King, if you had to describe Will, he would be a Thunder Mother, really, wouldn't he? So Will, what did you... I presume you've not heard of Thunder Mother before?
I'm not sure what this means. I'm not sure how I feel about being referred to as a Thunder Mother, to be honest.
It's clearly a term of endearment.
Well, yeah, absolutely, of course it
100%.
is. Absolutely.
I mean, we've got the black and gold on, so it kind of fits as well, right?
Yeah.
You do.
It's all planned. It's all planned.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them before, but this is something really weird. I have a soft spot for female-fronted like metal and like rock and roll bands because
you want to pervert,
yeah. Jesus. I feel like I've always liked how the female vocals. I'm just gonna blank out everything.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I like the female vocals contrast with the heavier sort of instrumentals.
Yeah.
And I really like how that sound goes. But as an album, it didn't really sort of blow me away. It was solid rock and roll, nothing exceptional. I think the Light in the Sky, the opening track, was probably my favourite track on it. It had a really good sound. It was really good, sort of setting the vibe for what the album was going to be like. But other than that, it was solid rock and roll. Nothing too exceptional, nothing offensive. Just good stuff.
Cool. Before we go on to the other twos, I would just like to... I'm going to read what Chris said about this album because I'd like you guys' opinion, because Chris is probably the harshest critic, or one of the harshest critics in here. However, on this one, he loved it, right? And this is what he wrote. Ah, mate, that smoky voice hit me right in the sweet spot. It reminded me of Fergie on Slash's solo album. Started off as a blah blah, I won't give the ratings away, but it just keeps finding his way back on, so deserves so much better. So he obviously liked it, and I just wanted, I thought I'd jump in there with Chris's point, because she does have that kind of smoky kind of voice and that kind of rock and roll voice. But yeah, anyway, Simon, what did you think, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm similar opinion that she does have an absolutely beautiful voice. Like I said, that sort of like deep, smoky voice. It's very sort of old school rock, which I like. It's a good, enjoyable album. It's just nothing spectacular jumped out at me from it, though. That's my only catch. Is none of the songs in particular none of them in particular sort of stood out. And it was just sort of good classic rock. Nothing offensive, nothing wrong with it. Just all right.
Nathan.
Hello. Yeah. So I'm gonna piggyback Will actually because it's a soft place to be. Soft and comforting.
Sorry,
found
that just conjured up images I really want to like immediately get rid of, but I'll do it.
Why do you want to get rid of it? It's a
No, embrace it. Right. I feel like it was really refreshing for me to hear a female vocalist in that genre, and one that I didn't feel had come from another place. So if you think of Britney Spears doing "I Love Rock and Roll," the Joan Jett song, don't do that, please. You don't. So she really fit the bill, and it really, really, really worked. That said, there is only so much you can do on a record to get people involved. You can do it all the time at live shows, and you can get the crowd involved. That doesn't work. I know I've got Ian in my head going, "Oh, did you listen to it at 11?" Like, yeah, all right, mate. But like, you could listen to it at any sound in any place. It won't bring you in like a live gig. I reckon if I saw them live, I'd be well into it. I reckon I'd be well into it. But there is no, as you guys said, there's no real defining moment on that album that makes you go, I'm going to listen to this over other stuff. That said, I really like the blending. We often talk about influences, and it's not, it's okay to wear your influences on your sleeve as long as you bring someone else to it. I sort of counted, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, riffs and stuff like that. But I do think there was something else different about it. So it was kind of a nice moulding. But that said, yeah, if it wasn't really for me, but I really would love it if I turned up at a gig and they were supporting. I think I'd be right into it.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because when you see the cover, when you see the name Thunder Mother, you're instantly going to think, "Oh, this is just going to be sleaze rock." Do you know what I mean? You're going to think that. And then
they should 100% change their name. It's terrible name.
Yeah, and then when you listen to it the first time, you go, "Oh, there's something there." And I've listened to it a few times, and it did kind of grow on me. And there's a problem here in the sense of she has a fantastic voice. You're looking at a new kind of, but better maybe Joan Jett, more range than Joan Jett, that sort of ilk and that sort of stuff. And some of the songs are peachy, and then some of the songs are just the arrangement isn't just quite right. It isn't, which is why there's maybe not some really standout tracks. But overall, I really enjoyed the album. I think it was fantastic. And it almost kind of got you to a point where you want to be blown away, but there's not something not quite right in that for you to get blown away, because her voice takes that point.
You, Nige? About what you're saying about the construction,
yeah.
I actually thought that about the solos. The solos were short, which I actually think in that genre they should be. It should be like a blitz of like, here's what's up. But the actual construction of them, there was so much overuse of repetition.
Yes.
So much overuse of repetition in those solos. They would do the lick down here, then up there, then up there, then up there. It's the same lick. It's the same pattern. You've just gone up an octave. That's not good enough. Or maybe even a harmony occasionally. And you mentioned Joan Jett. Joan Jett could write a song. She only needed about 3 chords to do it, but she could write a fucking song.
Yeah.
And she knew how to construct a song. These guys, I think, know how to play rock, and I think there is a difference.
Yes.
But
yeah, I meant vocally, I thought she was better than Joan Jett. I've always like.
Her range is 100% better than Joan Jett.
Yeah.
Sure.
But and there were there were some really good standout tracks. Hot Mess, Watch Out, Stratifit, really good. Yeah, I enjoyed the album. It's really good. And it was above my expectations. But then, to be honest with you, these days I think that our opening acts should we be expecting more from them than our top act? So anyway, right, let's crack on then. So, Will, what's your rating, my friend?
A solid inoffensive 3.
Solid inoffensive 3. Chris, give it a 4.5.
Fuck me!
Wow.
Jesus Christ!
I know, right?
Wow.
That's like
Whoa!
that's golden ticket
What
time.
have you done with the real Chris?
4.5 for Chris. I mean, that's.
He doesn't like stuff that
I know,
much.
right? I just wish he was here to share this moment of our incredulity. Anyway.
Yeah, I'd really relish the opportunity to try and break that.
Simon.
I could give it a very middle of the road 2.5.
2.5. Nate.
Yeah, I was going to say 2. I probably won't listen to it again, but you know, it was cool.
A 2. You think it was good
Yeah.
and a cool, but you give it a 2, which is below average.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
It was cool, but it wasn't cool enough, you know.
Well, I mean, I know, but
It's not sitting in a field in
It
the New
sounds
Forest.
better than average. I mean, do you know what I mean? That's what I love about this show, right? You know, normally, Ian, we were taking a mick out of Ian yesterday because he gives he gives it a raging like I'm gonna like every word that comes out of his mouth it's a 5, and he goes yeah, so 3. And we go like
Yeah.
anyway, 3.5 for me. 3.5. I did enjoy it. So we're looking at to quick arithmetic. 6, 9, 13 and a half, 15 and a half. A solid start. Solid start for the show. So right, well. Who is next? Here, live in the New Forest, the festival, New Forest Festival. Who is next on stage? So next on stage, is it Dynasty? Is it Destiny? It is Dynasty and their album Final Advent. Oh, we really should start with Will, but we've already done that, so we're gonna leave Will till last. We're gonna leave Will till last. So, Simon, Dynasty, obviously power metal.
Yeah, I mean, Dynasty's...
Dynasty.
Speaking of a band that really needs to change their name. I absolutely love this power metal. Fantastic highs, great lows. They really sort of smash out the park for me in terms of a power metal band, and Natural Born Killer, the track, has made it onto my favourites list. Saying that though, I don't think there's a huge amount of variety in the actual album itself. It feels like a lot of the tracks are a bit samey. But he's got a great voice. The guitars sound fantastic. I just really enjoyed the whole thing. Heart of Darkness as well, really good track. I haven't got much more to say, unfortunately, but it's absolutely cracking bit of power metal.
Nathan, and we know you love your power metal, Nathan. So, how did Dynasty? Was it nasty for you then?
I didn't try. And I wrote 2 lines. I knew I would hate this, and I do. And I can find no redeeming quality.
Wow.
Well, there's no surprise
Classic
there.
Nathan.
Classic Nathan.
I mean, it's no shock there, by the way. I think you'll find later on in the concert that I will be following suit with certain other bands. Right. So this is Chris's. Chris's version. It felt like I was listening to Dragon Force, not even a homage, more like a rip-off. Oh, now let's go to our resident power metal aficionado. Sorry, we've already had Simon. We'll go to Will instead. So, Will.
I mean, obviously, I hated it. Worst album I've heard this year. I really liked it. For me,
No shit.
I don't think it was as good as their last album, Dark Delight, from I think 2020. But I've been following the release of this album since they released the single Advent back in 2021, and I love it. It makes me happy. For me, it's one of those things where I really like what they do, and they have this one thing that, for me, they do it really well, and I really like it. I love his vocals. Power of Will and Advent are both fantastic tracks. It's very good. Nils has a beautiful
Were you
voice.
spurred on by the power of Will?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's written for me.
That genuinely might be the one redeeming quality. Yeah, amazing.
I just,
cool.
it is frustrating, isn't it, Will, when people like us adore, and Simon obviously adore power metal and see the goodness and the light in it and the entertainment in it, and then people like Nathan come along and just piss on our bonfire, and
That's why I'm here.
and it absolutely, and you just and
You're not allowed too much positivity on one stage.
and it's just like, and bands like, and I get really frustrated then, because obviously we all hear a difference, and everybody rages on about Battle Beast. You all went to see them in concert, and I thought they were a good, solid power metal band. But they're not in the same league.
I was not there. For our
No,
listeners,
you weren't. I weren't. You weren't there. You weren't there. I refused to go. I didn't want to go and spend money with Battle Beast. So I didn't think they were good enough. I would go and remortgage my house to go and watch Dynasty. I thought they were fantastic. This was a real quality, high quality power metal band. In the world of power metal, this was right up there, and some of the songs, Power of Will, absolutely right. Will, The Power of You, Instinct, Heart of Darkness. My God, what a cracking power metal album. It didn't hit the perfect heights of the likes of Pirates, Vision of Atlantis. There was a bit of questionability in terms of variation, but what they did in the power metal genre blew Battle Beast away. Battle Beast, nothing compared to this band. Absolutely nothing. This was a brilliant album. Absolutely loved it.
I think for me, the weird thing that I always find is because I've known Dynasty for a long time, and the lead singer of Dynasty is one of the singers in Amaranth as well, who are another Swedish metal band. So it always feels weird to me because with Amaranth you have his vocals, you've got Elise Ride's female vocals, and you've got the other one which is like growling. And so I'm so used to hearing his voice being compared to all three of those in a song. So it's always weird for me hearing him just on his own, but I love his voice. It is
terrific voice, really good.
Beautiful.
Definitely up with one of my.
He does sound fantastic live. I can confirm that.
I love it. I would go and watch. I would go and watch these guys. Definitely. So if you love your power metal, people, this was really good. And what I liked about it was it wasn't too cliche. I found Battle Beast a bit too cliche. These guys, it was cliche, but it wasn't too. It was controlled cliche perspective. Right. Well, let's crack on then. So, Simon,
I think I'll give it a 4.
4. Nathan.
Just quickly, you were saying in the world of power metal. That's like saying in the world of Magic the Gathering, this is the coolest card. Still, no one cares. It's still awful. Furthermore, if you're called Dynasty and you don't have a song called Who Shot JR, you're a dum-dum. 0.
Well, maybe they'll wake up in the shower and it's all been a dream.
How dare you compare power metal to magic? How could you?
I know, right?
Anyway, I know what's coming, but let's get your rating then.
Big old 0. Big old 0.
0. What a shock. No shock there as well. Chris, give it a 2. Just
What? That's impressive for him. That's good.
He must have been in a good mood.
Will.
4.5.
4.5. And it was a 4.5 from me as well. Well, it's not going to hit the Hall of Fame with a 2 and a 0, isn't it? But, it's, 9, 13, 15. 15. That's solid. Okay, right. Whoa. The stadium is starting to rock. It's starting to vibrate, because coming next on stage, who I tell. The stadium is vibrating. The mosh pits are getting ready, because coming now on stage is Machine Head and their album of Kingdom and Crown. Right, well, let's go to the biggest Machine Head here. Nathan, do you have a big Machine Head? Machine Head, what did you think?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know, you've got big, long, flowing hair, the sun's behind you, you just look like Machine Head. What can I say?
I actually did. I looked at the picture of them all now, and I was like, shit, I look like all of you.
Yeah, told you!
Yeah, all right. So, I bit of a weird relationship with Machine Head because when I was in the band back in school and college, my other guitarist loved Machine Head, and I could sort of take or leave. I really liked the scene setting of that. I can't remember the opening track's name, but it was the
Slaughter the Martyr.
Thank you. The reduced, very, very minimalistic guitar with really cool vocal licks, and to then dive into that riff sort of midway. You can't get away with doing stuff like that in any other genre of metal. Metal is the best at setting the scene of what is about to happen to you. It is the best genre for going, look over here, this is what's happening, I need your attention now. Most indie albums or alternative rock or stuff like that, usually we're just in, certainly pop, you're just in. Metal really does set your scene because they can afford to be a bit more theatrical, you know. I love a pinched harmonic, me. I'm assuming Simon at the very least knows what a pinched harmonic is, but it's when they go whack, and I like that. And Machine Head are not scared of it, and I love a bit of it because I really tried when I was a kid to learn how to do it, and the day you can do it is one of the most satisfying things I think literally on earth. Also, No Gods, No Masters was absolutely lovely. I really, really enjoyed it. Really great use of dynamics, really good varying vocal styles. They don't overdo solos, which was nice. The track lengths are pretty short for a metal band of that ilk. And they're not scared of whoa! I kind of like that. A bit of a cheesy chorus. The drums are a little simplistic for my liking. I think they could probably get away with a bit more. I also think the lyrics are a bit shit. I just think you could do a bit more. You could do a bit more. It's too hard. It's 2022. We don't need Satan. And we know you're metal. We've seen the album cover. I really liked it, and I didn't think I would. And that's a good thing for me. I do think they're probably getting a bit left behind, though. I think this genre of metal is on the decline, but it's nice to see some guys still, plumbing away. Even though I did see them in 2006 when they supported Metallica and they all but got booed off. Yeah, but really good fun. Good fun.
I'll go with Chris on the next one, simply for the fact, just to back up what Nathan said. Slaughter the Martyr is an epic way to start an album, but the following tracks were consistently decent from his perspective. So anyway, we were
that's kind of what I meant, but less eloquently.
Yeah. Oh no, I think you were far more eloquent than so I thought that was really interesting. Actually, it was a very interesting take on it. So, Will, how about your take?
I would like Nathan's impression of the the pitch again first, just to get me in there. Of
a pinched harmonic.
Yeah.
It's better when it's followed by a chug, so it's like a chug. That's kind of what we're talking about here.
Beautiful. Yeah. I'm in the zone now. I feel like I'm actually listening to him again.
I
Beautiful.
have a fucking clue what he's talking about, but I just go with it. So,
man, this album was fantastic, and I'm annoyed about how much I liked it. Because
it's real metal.
Because earlier this month, one of my favourite bands, Amon Amarth, were doing a UK tour, and they were being supported by Machine Head, and I stupidly didn't buy tickets to it. But oh man, if I had, this would have been fantastic to hear live. Beautiful. There wasn't a single track I didn't like. Become the Firestorm had about like 2 minutes 30. Had a beautiful, brutal fucking breakdown, and it was, oh man, I loved every minute of that. This album is, oh man, it's so angry, it's brutal, it's beautiful, it's perfection, man, perfection. This is, as Nathan said, this is heavy metal. This is
like beautiful and angry together. Just doesn't just doesn't compute really. It does not.
See, this is where my weird philosophy of metal is, because it's, there's so much more emotion in this than in like 90% of pop albums.
Yeah.
Because
Oh god, yeah.
It's
yeah.
The emotion may be anger and other bits, but it's still.
I'll come back to that in a minute. Simon, is this your cup of tea, mate?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I've been following Machine Head for a long time. I mean, apart from reiterating a lot of what Nathan said, very similar opinions on it. I'm actually, looking at it as an album, though, I'm a bit annoyed that I think there's 3 different, like, 1-minute little soundbite track things, which it doesn't fit very well for a Machine Head album. It's not a concept album. They're not building a story or anything. They don't quite fit, especially Overdose and stuff. It's just a bit odd.
Have they ever done that before?
I think they have, but not. This seems unusual to have 3 times in one. I think it's 3 times anyway, in one album, which means there's actually only 9 tracks on the album. Which one of them is Slaughter the Martyr, which is epic, and No Gods No Masters, which is my all-time favourite off that album. But yeah, it's really good, it's really enjoyable, but it is definitely solid Machine Head. But is that getting a bit tired now? You know, as Nathan said, it's all satanic anger and stuff like that, and it's kind of like, yeah, okay, we've heard this before over the last 10-15 years. Do they need to try and actually move on and change a little bit? But I don't know, it's hard to tell with these things, because if bands do try and change, then you also hate them for changing and being different. So
yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the album, really good. Just as an album as a whole, a little bit annoyed.
So I'm going to pick up on some key points here. The album was consistent. It was consistently shite. It did bring out emotion in me. I wanted to cry. And it was, I don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. I mean, the thing is, I would agree. The opening 30-45 seconds of the album, I'm going, oh, hello, come on. And then they started to scream, and it was just literally scream after scream after scream after scream after scream.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
Now,
it's not just screamo.
Go, Nathan. Go.
However, I will say that I did listen to the album, and it frustrates the hell out of me, because musically there was some fantastic stuff in there. The arrangements and everything were there was some great stuff in there. There's no denying that, and it frustrates the hell out of me, because I actually do listen to these albums right through in the hope and desperation that they will vocally match, for me, in my world, they will match that musicality, because musically there was some. It frustrates the hell out of me. Like I said, that first 45 seconds, I'm going, oh my god, this could really be my cup of tea. I love the way that's going to go. And then obviously, I just can't do it. And we'll come up to some albums later on where they combine that bit of screamo with commercial stuff. And you're right. You look at what we're about to listen to coming up with Five Finger Death Punch and people like that, where maybe they have moved on and they have developed and moved on a little bit, and with the times. And it's just like, it just frustrates the hell out of me. I mean, the vocals, I cannot tolerate those screamo vocals in the slightest. There we go.
Listen, mate, you do you know how hard it is to scream? And then do you know how hard it is to have different variations of that scream? And furthermore, do you know how hard it is then to blend actual vocal range and stuff in with that? You can say you don't like it, I'll happily have it, and it's not for your ears and all the rest of it. It is genuinely a hard thing to do. Like, it is a hard thing to do.
I take that on board. I simply just don't care, because I hate it.
That's absolutely relevant, and that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
But I'm
not arguing. I'm not arguing with the technicality of screamo. I imagine it is. It just does my head in. I just can't listen to it.
Fair enough.
But Fair. Anyway, right. Okay. Let's crack on then. So Nathan, your scores.
Yeah, 4.
4 from Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris also give it a 4.
This isn't fucking Chris, man.
Yeah, this isn't Chris. Have you replaced his scores? What have you done?
No, I've got it. I want evidence. Yeah, Chris, give it a 4. He genuinely likes this sort of shit. But there we go. Will.
5.
5. Wow.
Nice.
Simon.
If it hadn't been for those little tracks that annoyed me, it's a 4.
It's a 4. It's a The power here. The power that I have, because currently we're on 1217. Is that right? Yeah, 1217. If I were to give this a 3, guys, it would get into a Hall of Fame. But there's no chance of that ever happening. So it got to. But unlike the power part, the power force, the power metal hater here, I do see some of the good stuff in here. I think there was some good stuff in it. Musically, I give it a 1, so it did get a point off me. So, but there we go. Anyway.
I can't wait for the day you guys bring me a power metal album I love. Because the deep dive I'm going to get to do into it, I'm so looking forward to it, and it will happen for sure.
Yeah. I mean, 8, 12, 17, 18. I mean, that's still going to be high up there.
That is amazing for a Machine Head album in 2022.
Yeah, that is good. So, well, how do you follow that up? Well, you follow it up with. Well, let's see. Shall we? Who is next on stage? Well, let me tell you who's on the stage, because we have another Rage Against the Machine. I Prevail. True Power. Was it True Power? Did it have True Power? Will, let's kick off. We're coming back round in a circle here. Will, well, after Machine Head, how did I Prevail suit? Because similar kind of musicality, Marie.
Yes. Also yes. More yes. To put it simply, right now, this is my second favourite album I've listened to this year.
Hey!
I have loved I Prevail since, 2014, which for me was basically when I was, still in the womb. Because, I've got to, do the young person insult before anyone else. It's fine. So for me, I've known these guys for ages, right? And it's been so nice just seeing how their music's changed from their first album, Lifeline, Heart versus Mind, to what they've done now. And this album is beautiful. Again, my favourite kind of albums are ones where they have screams and clean vocals working with each other and playing off each other. It makes such a nice sound. Self-Destruction is, oh my god, that album has been at the top of my Spotify on repeat for the past 3 weeks, because I've been addicted to listening to that one song far too much. It's a problem. I should start listening to other music, but I can't stop. It's so good. Again, they do this whole thing where they have the really energetic, aggressive songs, and they have the really emotional, deep ones where it's talking a lot about feelings, all that shit. And oh man, I love this band. I love this album. They are so good.
Excellent. Okay.
Makes me happy.
I'll quickly go through what Chris said. Chris says a hardcore version of Effervescence, too angry and not melodic enough. Also ripped off Linkin Park for Bad Things. I know. Right? Chris is back, guys. Chris is back. You know what I mean? Chris is back.
It was a nice interlude.
Yeah, Simon.
Yeah, nice interlude. I love this album. Absolutely love this. Has got everything I love with music in there. There's such a dynamic range in there. There's as said, there's a lot of clean vocals, a lot of screaming, but there's just, it's such a good play together. I personally love the references to things like Linkin Park and Korn, which clearly they're clearly playing homages to in some of their songs. Many of these tracks have actually made their way onto my favourites. The Negative, Deep End, Judgment Day. Absolutely just love the range of this album from start to finish. Fantastic. Absolutely loved it. It's everything I want.
Nathan, I mean, surely after Machine Head, this was also surely somewhere towards your likability factor, or not?
Well, here's the thing. This album fooled me twice. Number one was my fault, because it was the first album I actually listened to, and I didn't have my speakers on. So I thought their first track was a rip-off of John Cage's 4 minutes 33 seconds, where it's total silence. I got quite a way into it. I was like, hang on, this can't be right.
What a hero! What a man!
All right, turn it on, realised what was going on, and then it fooled me again because I thought I was going to like it. Again, that scene setting in metal, I do like it, and I should say they used to be able to do that in pop. Like Bowie could do that, you know what I mean? Like, but modern pop's just like, here's my usually bum, and don't worry about the song because I look fantastic in shorts. However, I do like that in metal. I would suggest that this is Limp Bizkit if they somehow manage to blend their misogyny with emo sensibilities. I would also suggest that it's more of a question. It can't be new metal because new metal was new metal in the 90s. So is this new metal? And if it is new metal, that's fun to say. That's great. I'm behind it if it's new metal. I think it's been done. And what I mean by that is they're trying to do something new, but it's not pointful. Is my favourite invented word that I made as a child, as in to have point. It has since been invented by someone else, so I didn't get there quick enough. However, I don't find it having a point. It is pointless. It is, if you want rap metal, go and listen to Korn or Limp Bizkit. If you want that sort of blending of drum and bass stuff, go and listen to Linkin Park. If you want gent-sounding guitars, listen to Periphery or listen to Nigel's favourite band of all time, Monuments. Like, there's so many different things that they're trying to do. And I feel like there's only so many herbs and spices you can chuck at a thing before it's not digestible and all you do is shit yourself. And I really feel like that's what happened to me. I shit myself.
Wow.
This is why I don't work for the NME.
I believe it's what the kids call metalcore.
I also think, is it? Fuck me, because metalcore is also like that band I've just forgotten the name of. Oh God, help me, Howard. He's the lead singer. He was the lead singer. Come on, my curse. Jesus Christ. No,
who's Howard?
Howard.
Howard the Duck.
Alex is on fire.
No, it's not. Alex is predominantly on fire. This is my curse. Come on now. What are we doing here?
Oh,
this is ridiculous. And we're live. Kill Switch Engage.
Kill Switch.
That's the
one of my favourite bands of all time, by the way. And I couldn't remember the name. Hey man, long COVID. Words just go. Listen, it's not metalcore. However, you are a much younger man than me, Will. As you said, you're just still clawing your way out of the womb in 2014. In 2014, I was gigging in London. Like, it's not for me, and that is absolutely fine. I'm surprised it's for Simon, but there we go. Different tastes. Horses for courses, courses for horses.
Wow.
Edit this, Nige.
What's going on?
Edit it. I'm going to have trailers for the show based on this one, but there we go. What do I think? I've written down very shouted, horrible screamer, but not quite my cup of tea. I've got along with Nathan. I think there was a lot of stuff in here that we're trying to do. The saving grace of this album was Bad Things. For me, if that was a rip off Limp Bizkit, then maybe I should be or Linkin Park. Then maybe I should be reading that more. But the only one song that made it for me was that song. So otherwise than that, it really not Deep End. Sorry, Deep End was the song that which was towards the end of the album, and I'm going like, mate, this is my cup of tea. If the rest of the album was sort of similar ilk to this, I would probably love it. So Deep End for me was and it gets frustrating when they produce a song and vocals on Deep End, and you think, oh my God, you guys can really sing and you guys can really perform, but they could do it in my world and not the screamer world. It was slightly more tolerable than Machine Head for me, but I just didn't quite get it. Just really,
I find that fascinating.
Yeah. Well, but I find it fascinating why you don't appreciate power metal. I mean,
It's not that I don't appreciate power metal. There's a lot there to like. It's when it's all together. I don't think you need to sing about goblins all day.
Well, they don't sing about goblins all day. You should listen to it more. But there we go.
There's orcs and elves and
orcs.
dwarves.
Yeah, for God's sake. There's dragons. I mean,
Man, there's always a goblin. There's always
right. Okay. I prevail. Will. Let's get your score, mate.
Shockingly, it is also a 5. What a surprise!
Will is loving this
What a
festival.
surprise!
A 3, a 4.5.
This is
2
like-
fives.
This is like my perfect stage, pretty much.
It really is, isn't it? Well, yeah, we've got some bands to come, which might not be. With Chris give it 2.5. Back to the Maddie. Simon.
Impressive.
5. Hell yeah.
5. Wow. Wowzers. Nathan.
Yeah, it's a 1.
A 1.
Oh, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not
Hold on a
0.
minute, Nathan. I
That's
give
high.
it a 2. I mean, this is like. I feel like.
Handing in my metal badge.
I feel like to come down, I feel I should also give it a 1 because like it's just not right. So, okay, so 10, 12, 14 and a half, 15 and a half. So okay. Thanks to the 2 lovers. Right. Well. Wow, this is exciting, isn't it? Hey, this is so exciting. Who's going to be next? I wonder. Well, let's find out. Let's go live on stage and find out who is next. Well, let me tell you who is next on stage, because joining us now with a new album is the one and only Kasabian and the Alchemist Euphoria. Now, we surely all have heard of Kasabian. Simon, we're going to kick off with you on this one. Kasabian, is it somebody that has, they've been around a while? Is it somebody that you've heard of, crossed paths with in the past?
I mean, I'm probably going to get slammed for this, but I feel like Kasabian, that band that had that one really good album and then nothing ever since. I begrudgingly listened through this a few times to see if I was just misunderstanding something, but this album just seemed like a mess to me. All the songs are just there's just nothing consistent in the tone with them. Rocket Fuel in particular sounds like it should be being played in a club at night. Like, I don't know, just the whole album felt like a mess. And what is with Machine Head did it as well, and I was going to comment then, but why are all the tracks fully capitalized as the names? Like, why? Apart from where they see in space, where they've put the stupid Aether symbol. Like, I don't know. I just didn't enjoy this album at all. Like, none of the songs seemed particularly great. They all seemed kind of just droll and dirge and just noise. I just didn't enjoy this at all.
I'll mention what Chris said, because just to follow what you said, his first comment: someone left the caps on on when they named the songs? ? He says they're a smart price Stone Roses. Also, what the fuck was Stargaze? What the fuck was Stargazer?
Stargazer weird.
Was his comments on that one? Well, I mean, so far not so good. But I mean, has Kasabian darkened your door in the past? Is it something for you, Nathan?
Yeah, right. I loved that first album. You're right. That first album was great. I would suggest they also went on and did Fire. I'm on fire. Like, that was big. They did Shoot the Runner. That was kind of cool. But really, you're looking at first and second album. That first album really helped to change indie with people like Block Party and, other guys like that. And then, it really has been a bit shit, hasn't it? And they got a bit psychedelic at some point. I don't really understand why that happened. Also, their love affair with Noel Gallagher and Noel Gallagher's love affair with them absolutely has to come crashing to an end, because they will have to realise at some point people want to see Noel Gallagher without seeing Kasabian, and I don't think that's been possible for the last 10 years. If you look at it, they are always on tour with that motherfucker. But fair play, loyalty is key. The lead singer left. Let's not talk about why the lead singer and the band parted ways. It's not a nice story. However, I did think there would be more difference. And instead, I'd suggest that they've sort of Kasabian'd all over it, which for the last sort of 10 years, maybe, they have been all right, a bit of indie, a bit of drum and bass, a bit of psychedelic stuff. It can be played in a club. You won't mind it at a barbecue. It's all right down the pub. It's that kind of thing. However, what happened to me was I forgot I was supposed to be reviewing it. It blended so hard into background music that I really didn't know what the point was. I really liked Scripture. That was the absolute highlight for me. I'm assuming it's Scripture, although they've been clever and a little bit Scandinavian by putting a V as instead of a york. Aren't you clever, you silly geese? But yeah, it's a bit buoy. It's fine, and I am actually shocked to see it this far down the list because, love them or hate them, Kasabian are easily the most commercially successful band on this festival. I would suggest.
Not according to Spotify, my friend.
Well, I don't think they are. They certainly. I think that really goes to show how they've fallen off a bit.
Possibly.
But I don't know.
Out of curiosity, why did they split? I don't know. I haven't got a clue.
Singer did some not very nice things.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Okay, all right, we won't go there. Family show and all of that. Really, not really a family show, but there we go. Okay, so Will, I mean, so far this is your festival. This is the greatest festival you've ever been to.
This is a point I'm going to make again with a track with an album later on.
Every festival needs a toilet break.
It's interesting, right? But so the way that this works with the podcast is based on their total listeners. This album, all the tracks have less listens to than both Machine Head did, I Prevail did, and a lot of the Dynasty songs did. And the sole reason that they're this high is because over time they've had more listeners.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as an album, this one is less listened to
of course
than all the ones we've had already.
Yeah, I would imagine it probably is, but yeah.
Didn't enjoy a single second of this listening.
It
was utter shit. I was trying to pick a song that was the standout one for me. There's not. It's all the same fucking rubbish. And no, I'm angry. I had to listen to this when I just listened to I Prevail and everything else. It's upset me.
It's so beautiful how indie makes you angrier than metal.
Yeah, it's indie rock, isn't it? It's like we all had our kryptonite. We all had kryptonite. Mine would be screamo. Nathan's will be obviously power metal, and yours will be indie rock. So we'll find out what Simon's is.
It's just not real music, mate.
Rock
Not
is
saying, just saying.
Simon's too nice, man. Simon likes everything.
I think it's harsh. I didn't really. So this is the first Kasabian album I'd probably listened to in its entirety. So again, I had no real baggage from there. No, they are. They did mark them lower because of the relationship with Noel Gallagher, who I absolutely despise. I thought Scripture was fantastic. I thought Strictly Old School was a really good track. I thought Over the album was pretty solid. I think it tried to do it did a variety of things. I think that I think that I kind of like that kind of blend of indie hip hop, and I thought they did it okay. I don't think they did it as well as 21 Pilots, though. I think 21 Pilots have kind of came on and did it exceptionally well. And I almost felt like if Kasabian hadn't been around for the amount of years, I would think like, well, maybe on some of the tracks they're trying to rip off 21 Pilots or get into that commercial space. But they did it okay. It was a fairly light, enjoyable album with a couple of absolute crackers. Those two particular tracks I absolutely loved. So, and with Nathan, I think Scripture was a fantastic track, and I really enjoyed it. So it was inoffensive. It was good. It was solid. There was some really good production on it. I thought it was a solid album. I quite enjoyed it. So, and I could understand what the hell they were saying. So always a bonus for me. Let's put it that way. So all right. Well, okay. Well, after the heights of what we've had come on before, not that we've had a Hall of Fame yet, but who knows? Still, the night is young. Right. Let's go with our ratings. So Simon.
Oh, you're right. I am too nice. Let's give it a 0.
A 0. I'm sorry,
I just
but
did not like it at all.
But
It was a
you
mess.
didn't say that. Your words said, "What should be coming an Ian?" Oh yeah, it was okay. It was all right, but I'll give it a 0.
Okay.
I mean,
I didn't say it was okay. I said it was dirge and noise.
Wow.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Nathan. Oh, Chris, give it a 2. Chris, give it a 2. So we're up and running.
I'm also going to give it a 2, based on my enjoyment of Scripture. I genuinely think it would be a 1, but I really like that song. I'll listen to that song a lot.
Will.
Can I give it minus points for the emotional effect it had on me?
No, you
0.
can't.
Solid fat 0.
Oh, well, I had given it a 4. I quite enjoyed the album. There we go. I had it at 3.54. I think I was good. I was thinking of knocking it down for the Noel Gallagher, but I can't read the song.
Noel Gallagher is one of the greatest songwriters of his generation.
Yeah, but he's an arrogant shit, and I hate him. But there we go.
That's definitely true. That's definitely true.
I just no. I don't know the guy, but I suppose I hate his style. His performance style just really. He may be a nice guy, but I just his performance style is really not my cup of tea. Well, do you know what? That's the lowest score we've had for a very long time. But then I think it maybe suits the people we've had on the stage. No, I mean I think we were on the other stage and we scored a lot higher. But there we go. Right. Okay. So we're coming to we've 2 acts left, and who will be the penultimate act? Let's find out. Well, let me tell you who is next, because we have 5. Yes, 5 fingers, as that's a thumb, 5-finger Death Punch, and their new album, which is called Afterlife. Will this be taking us to Afterlife, or will we be going somewhere else? Well, let's find out, shall we? Nathan, well, start with you, buddy. 5-finger Death Punch. The name of the band seems to typify Nathan Selby. Did it? Talk to me.
I always wanted to know what Rammstein would sound like if they sung in English.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I know.
That's weird.
And I'm pleased they don't.
Oh!
Waiting for that.
The lyrics were cheesy, very easy. There is basically no creativity there. It could be a drum machine. I don't know. I didn't bother to look. What's upsetting is this is the first time I've ever listened to 5-finger crotch rot or whatever. My mate in Lincoln used to absolutely love 5-finger, and I sort of made it a point to never listen to them because his music taste was shit. And so I've actually done this essentially for you, Nige. I've broken a rule of mine of a decade actually to never listen to them, and I've listened to them, and I will go back to never listening to them. It is metal as written by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yes.
Wow. I was expecting a bit more there, actually. Well, you just never know. Will, 5-finger Death Punch, mate. Is this something that ticked your boat?
Hello, Will enjoyed this. Shockingly, again. I've also listened to 5-Finger Death Punch for a very long time, so I enjoyed this a lot. Sort of the same thing I said with Dynasty, though, is I didn't like it as much as a lot of their older albums, though. I feel like it didn't really compete as much with things like Got Your Six and Wrong Side of Heaven for me. But Welcome to Circus was, a beautiful way to start the album. It said it. And as I've been saying for the past few weeks, the only way to describe 5-Finger Death Punch is it's a really angry man who's really sensitive. He's really angry. He's really sensitive. He's really angry about how sensitive he is, which makes him even more angry. But he's really sensitive, though, still.
I was thinking of how I could describe this album, and Will just blew anything that I probably could think of that would
I'm a really angry guy, but
perfectly. That is a perfect description of this album.
As Dragon Force mocked them a few years ago when they did a parody song of all their choruses are, I'm a really angry guy, but this is my sensitive
Hang
side.
on, sorry, Dragon Force are mocking people?
Yeah, it's great.
Dragon Force are mocking people. Does Dragon Force know they're the laughing stock of every single musical?
That's why they
do it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because you already know how awful they
I genuinely hope that the members of Dragon Force, particularly Herman Lee, at some point fall into a ravine.
Okay, Chris says, well-paced and solid album, good range of soft ballad and angry noises, which obviously probably sums that up pretty well as well. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just...
Chris was just describing life at home. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's really funny. Right, well, let's go to Simon. Simon, Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved Five Finger Death Punch forever. Way of the Fist of More is the answer. Love those albums. Went to see them on their first tour in the UK. Absolutely loved them. And the albums have been hit and miss over the years, but Afterlife has been a really good comeback for them, I think. I do worry they're running out of things to be angry about. Some of their topics have started to sort of go into the bit obscure, especially as these more sensitive sides coming out in more tracks in the album, whereas normally you'd only get two or three tracks of sensitivity, but this time there's quite a lot in there. And again, it's delicate, intricate, subtle lyrics like "dance, dance, motherfucker" till the fat bitch sings.
Yes.
I didn't know I needed that said at me.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Still masters of the delicate lyrics. Gold Gutter is one particular song I want to highlight, is because it's a complete love letter to all their other albums and hits, because it just references all their other like big hits that they've done, which I think is really, for a band of this length, I actually kind of like that rather than just rehashing old songs or something.
Band of this length, you're talking like that Iron Maiden. Hey.
I mean, they've been going for quite a long time, though. I can't remember what their first album is, but they've been going for a fair number of years. 2007, 2006, something like that. So, but yeah, it's just nice for them to reference everything in a song and to make a song about them, like about their previous tracks. So, but yeah, fantastic album. I've listened to it on repeat quite a lot, so I really love it.
I was expecting to hate this album based on previous incarnations, based on what I'd heard of them. I was not expecting to love it in the slightest. For me, that sort of the musicality rock, because you have a rock ballad, and I'm a sucker for rock ballad, okay? And you have rock ballads which are kind of cheesy rock ballads, and then you have rock ballads that are a little bit different, a little bit more punchy, that have a little bit more musicality about them, and these guys delivered that in bucketfuls. So, times like these, Judgment Day, Thanks for Asking, All I Know, from a ballad point of view, they have an edge to them, and I have to say, if it wasn't for the screamo tracks, which I would skip, because they, and for me, it almost felt like they were being angry for the sake of being angry, because that's what's expected of them, because they obviously, unlike Machine Head, have tried to move on, in terms of tapping into a different market, and for me, approaching my market, they did it in bucketfuls. I absolutely, I can't give it the top rating because as an album, I can't listen to the whole thing, but I can listen to 70% of it.
And it was shit.
What was the screamo shit?
No, all of it.
No, it was so not shit. It was so not shit. It was absolutely... I loved it. I really, really enjoyed it. So if it wasn't for the screamo shit, for me, it would be somewhere up there in my top 10 albums of the year by a long way. Absolutely fantastic album, and really hit a lot of my sweet spot in terms of what I like. But yeah, fantastic album. I wasn't expecting it. Loved it. Really enjoyed it. Really, really thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'd say, as we come to Marks in a minute, didn't hit that full height because of the screamo tracks, which I just skip after a few listens. So, but there we go. So let's kick off then with the downer. Nathan.
The continued conversation about sweet spots on this podcast genuinely makes me feel a little bit crazy.
Welcome to Bedland, mate. Welcome to Bedland.
No. I genuinely think it's a 0. I found nothing.
Wow. Nothing.
Nothing, man.
Oh, wow. Chris, give it a 4. Will.
4.5.
4.5. Simon.
Oh, we're going to go for the big old 5.
5. I wish I could give it a 5. I really do. I love so many of the tracks on it, but it got a 4 from me. God.
Hall of Fame, innit?
No, not what you're 0. I mean, you're 0. I mean, 0 automatically says that all the rest have to be a 5 to get the Hall of Fame. So no.
Oh, really? Shit, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're not really. Let's be honest about it.
can't be sorry.
What score do I have to get it sort of half a point away?
2. You'd have to give it a 2, and then it would be a 19.5. So
No, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
No. That's what I'll put it. So, who is our penultimate? We know who. So our penultimate act, our headline act. Right, let's find out who our headline act, and let's go back live to the stage. Well, virtual live anyway, for the next act. So, the final act, the headline act, the act whose song has had the most Spotify plays, not in its whole entirety, but one particular song, and that is, welcome to the stage, Goo Goo Dolls and their brand new album, Chaos in Bloom. Was it chaos? Did it bloom? Did it flower? Well, let's go to the weed in this lovely patch. Will.
Hello. So I'm afraid I left the festival early so I could leave the car park before everyone else did. So the best way to express my distaste and hate of this album, is I did some maths. Shocking, right? So overall, combined, all the songs in this album have a total listening of 3.5 million. Right? Five Finger Death Punch, 4 songs alone in that album, all have more listens than that. I Prevail, 2 songs have more listens singly than the entirety of this album. Machine Head, one of their songs again alone, has more listens than this whole album. It's because this album was a steaming piece of shit.
Listen, when I book the bands, though, I don't know what's going to happen, how their current albums are going to perform, do I? I book them based on popularity, and people pay the tickets.
Well, yeah, but fuck them if they're buying tickets to this. They don't deserve to come to this festival.
I've ever heard you swim.
Let's be honest, man. Let's be honest about it. This band, all the bands you say will be a download. I can't ever imagine Goo Goo Dolls being a download. Well, who knows, really?
It just amuses me going to an actual festival where you just sing Five Finger Death Punch and then you have to listen to this.
Yeah.
It's an excuse to go early and leave the car park.
Oh, is that a festival where Korn played before the Rasmus? Didn't go well for them.
That's just hilarious, so I'd love that.
Simon, Goo Goo Dolls.
Will was my ride home, so I left, so sorry. Thankfully, the album is only 10 tracks long, but I'm going to be honest, I don't think I ever made it through all 10. I just zoned out immediately. I couldn't, being very honest, I don't think I actually listened to the whole album. Or I did, I don't know, I don't remember.
Is that in it?
Yeah, I just couldn't focus on a single bit of it. I just boring nothingness to it. I just did not enjoy this at all. I feel bad. It's always the headliners. It's always the headliners for me. I never like them.
Chris wrote pop shite. I'd rather listen to Harry Styles than that album again.
Wow.
I think that's the worst insult I've ever heard him speak.
Wow. Can we salvage anything for the Goo Goo Dolls? Nathan?
Right, so upon its release, Iris became second of a string of hits from the film soundtrack City of Angels, music from a motion picture. Song debuted at number 66 on the Billboard Play chart on April 18th, 1998. Eventually spent a record of 18 weeks at number 1 in the Hot 100 airplay. However, it was not allowed to chart on the Billboard Hot 100 because no commercial single had been released, which was a bit silly of them. And you'll have noticed that I'm talking about the song Iris, which is the only reason anyone should talk about the Goo Goo Dolls ever. I told Alana this. Alana had the misfortune of being around when I was listening to the Goo Goo Dolls, and this is genuinely true, but I won't say any names. There was, let's call him a dickhead, was dating one of my friends in college. They were 16, and they had been together, I think it was 2 weeks or 2 months, either way, not long enough. And he sat her down and into her eyes played the song Iris on an acoustic guitar with his family in the room, and she had to sit there. She was his audience. And since that point, I've hated everything, not just about the Goo Goo Dolls, but I think about life. And the fact that you did this to me.
I didn't do it to you. I didn't know what you. I didn't know. Oh, I know he's had pain in his past with Goo Goo Dolls. I'm going to make him.
Absolutely fuck off. You definitely did, because nobody actually likes the Goo Goo Dolls. I've actually written down at this point it feels contractual. Like there's no reason the record company didn't want to put this album out. But they were like, fucking hell, they've got another 4 left on the deal. Just do it. Just fuck, no one's gonna care. And yet apparently they care enough to be the headline of this act. I probably would put it on a playlist to someone I don't like. Maybe my missus' younger sister, who is, very young. She's 12. She's fairly safe. It was awful. You could sell it at Tesco's. Arguably, it's doing exactly what it should do. It is not for any of us. Although, Nigel, if you say you like it, but it's not for any of us. It was absolutely doomed to be on the podcast with arguably the most metal people we do this podcast with. He's still got a good voice. He can still write a pop song. I mean, he, doesn't matter. Who cares? You know what I mean? It's fine, but I genuinely feel fucking sorry for it, because we didn't get it, it got us. Do you know what I mean? It was terrible. Dog shit.
Well, I didn't hate it. For what it was, I kind of like pop rock. I don't mind a bit of pop rock, and this was, for me, this was like a cross between Elton John, Bryan Adams, and the ELO. What? That's what I felt. That's what I heard. There was a couple of decent tracks in there.
You listened to the wrong album, mate.
I Like You, Day After Day were fairly decent. They were all right. They were very listenable. It was a kind of listenable. It was a pleasant listen. It wasn't horrible. I quite enjoyed it.
If Tinkerbell wrote an album, it'd sound like this.
Well, I like Tinkerbell. Obviously, I'm obviously based on Five Finger Death Punch. I'm a sensitive man. Because I like the sensitivity of it. I get it. It wasn't your cup of tea. Get that full. I appreciate that. It was a vast difference from everything we've kind of listened to on this one, and it was very much a pop rock album. But as pop rock albums goes, and because when I've been on this journey, I've forced myself to listen to the top 100. I listened to, well, bizarrely, Harry. I keep harping on about Harry Styles' album, Harry Styles, which is actually not a bad album. The rest of his shit is pop shite, but and this was slightly better than some pop shite that you kind of have. It was all right. This guy's got a good voice. It was solid. It was all right.
Go and listen to Travis. Go listen to Travis from the late 90s, the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. It's fantastic pop rock construction. The melodies are brilliant. The lyrics have meaning. This is uncomparable. It's such a massive genre. It's pop rock and chart rock. There's so much. Go compare it to No Doubt, even. Go compare it to the Cranberries. Just like, it's so pale and fucking limp dick energy. It's just the worst, Nige, and you should be ashamed.
I stand ashamed. I stand ashamed for all of us ashamed people out there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but there we go. Right, okay. This could be the worst rated album of all time. Who knows?
We can only hope.
Nathan. Oh, we started with Simon, didn't we? No, we started with Will. Will.
0.
Simon.
0.
Nathan.
1.
one. Chris give it a 1.5. I give it a 3.5. It's all right. So 5, 6. I think it's going to be down there as the joint worst rated album.
I said I'd play it to my missus sister, Simon. Like, I think there is something there for someone. Like I said, it got us. Like, you know.
Yep.
Well, that brings us to the end of the festival, and I would not have expected Machine Head to be, well, maybe with you three, I probably might expect Machine Head to be the highest rating, an 18, Five Finger Death Punch.
Look at your hair, mate. I haven't sliced them.
I know, right? Beautiful, isn't it?
That's so cool.
He's got all Goo Goo dolls on us.
You take that back.
I genuinely thought, I tell you what the surprise is, I genuinely thought that Nathan would like Five Finger Death Punch. I genuinely thought that you were going to either... I was not expecting a 0 on Five Finger Death Punch. I was genuinely expecting Five Finger Death Punch to hit the Hall of Fame. Genuinely, I genuinely thought that you would all like that, and I was surprised I liked it. But it didn't. 17.5, and the rest were kind of average from that perspective.
You did make the mistake of telling me during the week that you liked it.
Yeah, I know, right? Set that up really badly, really badly. So anyway, well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for another 7. Guys, please like and subscribe. Please share if you like the album. That's over the weekend. We've done 14 album reviews. 1 has hit the Hall of Fame. That's how we rock and roll. That score. So and just for you guys, the one that hit the Hall of Fame was Nordic Union and Animalistic. Simon and Will love it, and I reckon that Nathan will hate it. But there we go. Who knows? It is an absolute cracker. Thank you very much for joining us, Nathan. Thank you for joining us today, live from the New Forest.
Thank you very much. If you're in the Google Dolls, reassess your life.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. My Battle Beast duets, Will and Simon.
It's a pleasure as always.
And thanks for Chris. He was gutted.
It's like showing off you're wearing Primark. It really is. Again, like and subscribe, guys. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next month for another 14 albums. And we'll speak soon. Thank you very much.